to, where I move. It's just the best couch ever. We're not going. It's coming with me, but it sinks and it's got a few bumps and stuff in it. So, okay, I'll just sit on this side. It's fine. Whatever. I'll sit over here.
Yeah, whatever works for you. I'm ready whenever you are. You just let me know.
Wait, what am I doing?
No, I'm saying I'm gonna.
Oh, you see me? I'm sorry. I'm following you. Hold up.
No, I'm gonna. No. You don't have to do anything. I was just saying. I was just saying. I'm gonna officially start whenever you're ready. So I'll introduce the show and introduce you or whatever.
I'm allowed to eat, right? Can I eat? Is that okay?
You can do whatever you want to do. I mean, you know what I'm saying? We on quarantine. We at the house. You know what I'm saying?
Is that too bright? Hold on. I'm eating my string cheese. Live my best life right here.
No, you're not too bright. No, you're not too bright.
Are you sure? Let me find something to prop this on. Are you sure?
I promise you're good.
I'm gonna have to hold this if I do that. Hold on. Oh, my hand being in the way. Hold on, let me find something real quick before we do that.
All right.
That's when I'll prop it up so I don't have to do nothing. I need my drink in my hand. I need to eat my cheese. Hold on. For real, I'm greedy.
It's a whole vibe.
I haven't eaten anything yet, so I'm just gonna munch, and then I have personal training at 2. So
you're getting trained, or you are?
I'm training. Yeah, I'm training the people. Let me see if I can put something. I just want to prop it up so I don't have to do anything. Hold on.
Are you doing it virtually, or are y'all just using?
No. We're going to my my gym.
Gotcha.
It needs to be a higher view. Hold on, I need to find something to prop it up on. That's probably why I should have used a laptop. Because I'm stubborn. Let me see.
You want to sign on to it?
No, because my daughter's using the laptop and she quiet. When the kid listen, when they quiet, honey, don't bother them things. Let me tell you something.
Leave them be.
He's always, let's go check on Naomi, see what she's doing. Why? She's quiet. Boy, no, we are not checking on Naomi. Leave her alone. She is fine. All right, let's see. That angle. Let's see, because I want to have snacks and stuff. I'm probably gonna have to hold this. This gonna make everything. What's that? Hold up. Wait. Is that his thing? Can I prop the A? Okay. His toys might come in handy today. Little makeshift box here. I'm trying to think if I'm just gonna have to hold it. Which I don't have a problem. If I move, that's not a problem, right? Like if I move around a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, you're fine.
Okay, cool. As long as you can see, because it's probably gonna be better at that angle, and I don't have anything to prop it at that angle. So, okay, cool. I'll just have to.
I mean, as long as you're satisfied with how you look. I mean, because at the end of the day, you have to be seen. You know. So I mean, as far as on my end, it won't interrupt me or nothing. But I just want you to be comfortable. Whatever makes you comfortable. If you want to eat, drink.
I'm just trying to see if I can set this here. Would that might actually work? If you could see what I'm setting this on, you're gonna be like, this girl with these toys that I got helping me prop this stuff.
That works. That angle works. As long as there it is.
Hold up. I had it. Hold on. Give me a second. I got it. I almost got it. Because I'm gonna prop this stuff up on his little toys. Is that too far? Am I too far from here?
No, you good.
That's not bad. Hold on. I'll just slide it towards him because I'm literally sitting on the couch. Hold on. Let's just slide a smidgen here, and then I can sit back. Is that
your head cut off though?
My head's cut off. Hold on.
The top of your head.
So go back. Come on, toys. Cooperate with me. Is that too far? That looks too far.
It's not too far, but you can see whatever it's sitting on in front of it is blocking you. Like at the bottom, and the little bottom right here, you can kind of see.
Crap. This is probably gonna be the angle, huh? Probably gonna have to hold it. Hold up.
Can you? Is there any way for you to face that bookshelf that's right next to you, or is like
It's the corner.
No, I meant like you turn your chair and face it so you can put the phone on the bookshelf and it be facing you.
Oh, but I now have to get a chair. Hold on. Give me 2 minutes because I know we're running tight on schedule here. Hold on. That actually might work. I might just have to sit in a chair. That might work because the bookshelf might be it. Let me see. No, that might be too high. I'll have to stand up the whole time. I think you'll see toys in the background. Hold on. Yeah, I'm gonna end up having to hold this bad boy. Okay, well.
Okay.
Unless, let me see. No May! No May! Are you using your tablet? Where's your tablet? Let me use the computer real quick. Girl, you've been on the computer all day. You haven't even slept yet. She has not slept yet. Okay, I'll give it right back. Thank you. Love you a long time. Go get your tablet. Where's your tablet? Okay, well, I'll be done in a minute. Just stay put. Find toys to play with. Read a book. Naomi, don't. You heard that. That's why I don't be bothering her, because yeah, if I get the laptop, that'd be better. Okay, so it's just mommy.
All right, cool. All right, well, welcome everybody to another episode. I think this is like episode 4 of Do You Mind If I Call You Bitch? My name is Rudy Wilson. I am alone today as far as having a co-host, Tanesha, whatever you want to know her by. She can't make it today. Having a little car trouble. But we do have a special guest as always. I have found out that I am the first to pronounce her last name correctly.
Yes.
In her life.
My whole life.
And so we have, are you actually from Jacksonville before I say that?
Yes, born and raised. Yes.
So from Duval County, we have Janita Ocaña.
You said it right. I just want to cry. I made it this far to
it is not Juanita Ocaña.
Don't do that.
It is Janita Ocaña.
There's no you. Perfect.
Gotcha.
Good job. I'm so proud.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. I got my snacks. So listen.
I feel like everybody who I know is a personal trainer because one of my best friends is too. Like all of them, they like to snack a lot. Like even if it's healthy snacks, it's like y'all are some eating.
Let me tell you something. Not only do we eat a lot, but snacking is the only time that we have to do anything. So as a personal trainer, you're always on the go, and snacking is how you survive.
Right.
If you're lucky enough to get home and eat, literally, your mind is still going a mile a minute. So about midnight is when I can actually sit down and like, yes, I got food, time for myself. And then by that time I'm passed out. So
right. How long have you been a personal trainer?
I started probably back in 2012, but then off and on through school and sports and lingerie football league, I kind of stopped doing it. So now I'm doing it full time again, which is it's fun. It's stressful because
in the lingerie football league. Wow, that's
yes,
not something to just speed past. I mean, well, finish your spiel. We'll go back to that, but that's something. Okay.
So I fell back into it because I'm passionate about fitness. I'm passionate about training people and helping them reach their goals too. For me, it's not, the money is good, but it's not the money. For me, it's like, yes, I love when people report what they're doing and report their weight loss or report whatever journey it is. I get a lot, not being funny, but butt is the thing. Like ass is the thing right now. So that's
for sure.
Well, I want my butt to look like yours. And I'm like, like I can help you look good for your body, but I can't make you look like, but
right,
naturally,
for sure.
And I'm not, shaming anybody who does it surgically, more power to you. It's just, all of that is to say that it's about how you're comfortable with you. So it doesn't matter what plastic surgery you get or what aesthetics that you get changed. If you're not comfortable with you, there's still going to be some type of insecurity in that regard. So I just want women to understand that I don't get you in shape versus the Instagram models or these people that are celebrities. We get you in shape for you. And that's been the biggest game changer, is staying in your lane, you know, with your fitness. Don't look at other people's journey, because you don't know what surgery, what detox, what flat tummy tea, any of that stuff that they've done. But, you know, with me, it's all about just, I can't do anything without you. So you're not going to see results if you don't stick to what I'm telling you works for your body. And we work together to make a good workout, make a good routine, and, you know, get you on track, if anything, towards being healthy. And they enjoy it. They hate it. Now, if you go on my Facebook, you'll see oodles of pictures where they're just passed out. Like, I always show, day one is always like the best, because I always get a pass out picture of everybody after their workout. But
that's another thing that I know. Like, anybody, my best friend as well, and any personal trainer, anybody I've ever worked with, that is y'all favorite thing. Like, as soon as somebody pass out, it's like, y'all turn into paparazzi. Like, oh, we got one.
Oh,
we got
the camera,
one.
girl. She passed out. Exactly, because I want y'all to see that it's not easy. I had a football player come in there like, yeah, you know, my homeboys was like, oh, it's not like football, but you know, I'm good. I said, okay. Child, middle of the first workout, he had his sweatshirt on and a whole bunch of shirts. Oh no, he peeled all them clothes down after at least, even the warm up itself is pretty bad, but it lets me see what your body is capable of. And then we make workouts based on just that warm up. So, he was done. Like, literally. He was like, I didn't die though. You did, but you know.
So is your workouts, are they catered to like high intensity? Is it more like, you know, like, what is it, muscular or?
For my weight loss people, it's always high intensity, high heart rate, and a lot of sweat, because that's what they need. For them, because they're overweight, it's usually a poor diet combined with slow metabolism. So if you tell me that you want to lose weight out the gate, my first thing is to figure out, what is your dieting like? How often are you eating? What are you eating? And how do we combat those things with the workout, you know, combined? So it's just, but it's a lot of touch and go, because whereas somebody like me, if I don't work out for a month, my body responds in a week. But then I have girls who, you know, whose bodies responds over days. Some who it took, like I took one of my girls, it took 2 weeks for her body to say, I'm hungry now, I need you to eat more, to trick her metabolism into going faster. And it's just funny, because they get a lot of personal trainers that don't pay attention to their body. And that's the one thing that people miss. It's not just about getting them, you know, right on the scale and getting them to do your workouts. It's what complements their body. Like, do they have certain injuries? What are their limitations? You know, are they incapable of eating certain things because of, you know, illnesses? Some of them come to me with like heart diseases. So it's really just knowing your stuff as far as the workouts go, but you do have to understand, you know, kinesiology of the body. You have to understand what works for their specific ailment, disease, or physical disability. Is so much into it that, you know, that I pay attention to outside of just having them do the workout.
Gotcha. So let's backtrack to this football thing. Yeah, so just I don't even know where to start. Did you play, like, first of all, were you one of the girls who played like Pop Warner, like as a kid? Like, you were?
No, and see, this is the thing. I was a tomboy growing up. I played nothing but sports, but for me, you know, we played tackle loco and football on the street, like in the street at home, but never one of those people that, and this is the thing, like, I knew I was a tomboy, but my parents still didn't allow certain things. Football was one of those things that they were just not going for. Not that I wanted to play then, but 2012, I was like, I saw them on TV and was like, I want to do that. Like, you know, they were on MTV at first, and I was like, oh, I want to do that, thinking, you know, no big deal. And then boom, I was pregnant like the next day, literally probably like the next month, but so I put that on hold. But after I had my second one, maybe like right before she turned, maybe like 1.5, I found information online how to play. So I started playing for Tampa Breeze down in Tampa. That was the only team that was close. They had tryouts up here in Jacksonville. And then they said, you know, we'll call you back for, I think they had like 2 tryouts. And then they had a mini camp which you go down there for the weekend. And I think we practiced or played like 2 or 3 days. And then the following month, it was like practice, and then cuts. and then I made a team. So after that, I played, I want to say 3 years. So Tampa, then they moved up to Jacksonville, call it Jax Breeze, and then played for Jax Breeze. And then after that, they decommissioned that specific team. So, but I was played cornerback.
Oh wow. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. That's sticking them. You what? When you just quick question about Tampa. How long did you live in Tampa? Because I actually
I didn't live
graduated
there.
high school in Tampa.
I commuted. So
Oh, okay, gotcha.
I would just go down there on the weekends.
Right.
It's too, I couldn't move down
3
there.
hour drive.
Too much traffic. It's too much traffic. It was so much traffic. I gotta just thinking about it. Just thinking about places I will not move strictly based on traffic alone is Orlando, Tampa, New York, and LA. So sorry. Just love you a long time, but
add Miami to the list.
Miami
awful.
Too. Yes.
Miami's
but the difference between Miami is their traffic always seems like they have places to go. So I'm always behind somebody that's like,
which is why it's also a lot of accidents in Miami.
we both running late and he's driving like he got somewhere to be and I'm on it. I'm like, yes, honey, we got somewhere to go.
Facts. No, that's facts.
Listen, here they just can't drive. In Jacksonville, they just cannot drive. One drop of rain and there's 6 accidents. So.
Right. Gotcha. And so have you lived in Jacksonville your entire life?
My whole life. I moved to Ohio for 3 years back in like 2008, and the cold sent me home. I can't do it.
You said back in 2008, so you were an adult. So
I was a full-grown adult.
Right. Well, I guess because my question I was leading to is I always try to find out if people have, or not even just people, I guess in particular, have lived in 2 different places, especially like a north-south, maybe coastal thing. Yeah. Because I guess I want to know, obviously you didn't like the cold, but in reference to just your experience there compared to Florida. Now for you, it may be a little different because some people who I talk to have lived in Florida, even like Tanesha, like she moved from Virginia to Florida, but she spent like a lot of her adulthood in Florida. Like she spent childhood and stuff in Virginia, whatever, adulthood in Florida. But you born and raised in Jacksonville. And I'm sure you've been to other places in Florida as well. So, like, what was that experience like compared to the 3 years that you were in Ohio?
Outside of the weather, I went because I wanted to do something for myself. I stayed in Jacksonville for school, for family, for all of those things. And I was like, I really want to go. I had a best friend at the time. We went to college together, and she was moving back to Ohio from Oklahoma. She graduated, and I was trying to convince her to come back down here because I missed her. We're like, we we're really close. She was like, why don't you move up here? This was me. And then I was like, yeah, I think I'm going to do that. So I went up there, found an apartment, found a job, and said my goodbyes. Everybody cried. It was so miserable. It was like one of those things where it was like, dang, like this is really happening. And I was gone for the first year I was gone. I came back periodically within that time a lot. And then the difference to me is I don't want to say slower pace. It's really easy to get into the life of living up there because where I lived at looked just like Jacksonville to me. It was
what part of Ohio?
I was in Columbus.
Okay.
It reminds me of Jacksonville, like the streets, how we have Atlantic that runs forever and Beach that runs forever. They have Cleveland that runs forever. They have Livingston that runs all the way through the entire city. So the one thing that I liked about it was the cost of living was just, everything was so cheap. I was like, oh my God, I could stay here. But that cold, that's why I came home, because it was like, listen, that's the compromise. But up there, literally, it's just, everything was so affordable. Like, and this was 2008 when I moved up there. The job that I went for was only $10 an hour. My rent was $458 a month. My electric was about maybe like $50, and I was getting paid weekly. So I would put like $150 aside, $150 for the next check, $158. My rent was good. The last check, blow it on whatever I want. That's just how cheap it was to live up there.
Right.
And the people are nice. It was, they have very nice houses, very nice areas. Like, just, I absolutely loved it. But just for me, I can't do the cold. I cannot do the cold.
Now, let me ask you this. And I never know how to ask this question correct to anybody, male or female. But I guess judging off of your last name, what is your ethnicity, race, or what? I don't know what's the correct which
Hispanic,
one you choose,
but ethnicity, Hispanic, Black and Hispanic. My mom is Black. My dad is Puerto Rican, Virgin Island. Well, he was born and raised in Puerto Rico, lived in the Virgin Islands. He's weird, and he's Puerto Rican, full Puerto Rican, and 1/16 British in there somewhere. Apparently there was something going on with pirates at one point in time. So I'm just gonna throw that out there because I have a friend that laughs when we mention that to her about the pirates. Like one of my aunts or great somebody's was kidnapped by pirates and had a baby. Don't worry about it. Don't mind me.
But it's because of how you say it. You're like it almost sounds like your life was such a fairy tale. You're like, I don't know, we had dragons, pirates somewhere.
A lot going on. I just got bits and pieces of it. I take it for what it is. Do what you will with that information, but that's how it came to me. I'm sticking to it. I'm telling my kids that too. Kidnapped by pirates, honey.
We are black, Hispanic, and pirate.
Pirate, yep. And I'm sticking to it. Yeah.
Gotcha. And your mom is she's African American, like she just and I'm asking, like, she's not like from like the islands, Black or nothing?
No, she born and raised in North Carolina. As far as I know, I don't know if we've had the discussion. I had a great is she great? I don't know if she's great or great grandmother that lived to 102 that we didn't get to see. I didn't get to see. She went maybe years ago when we were younger. But as far as I know, I don't know if we have any slaves in our family. I have there's a friend of mine that does, they do the background, trace your ancestors, ancestry. And I want to find out so bad, just a lot of things. And so I think his mom actually, after us having like a conversation on Facebook, his mom went to school with mine. We're like, what? Just,
wow.
Produced a picture and everything. So I think his mom actually does that too, where they trace your ancestors and all that stuff. So she pulled out like pictures. Is this your mom over here? Like, yeah, that's her with them little legs. They ain't little no more, but that's her. Yeah.
Right. So let me ask you this: when you're just out and about, how are you perceived just off site? Like, do people automatically think you're Hispanic, Black, or do they think you're mixed? Like, how does that work?
So because this is Duval County, and I'll say this very loosely, I try not to go anywhere. Not if it's not my same, because I got the bearded dragon, but PetSmart and Walmart and to the gym, unless I absolutely have to go anywhere, I typically won't. Like, I'm not an out until my master's is done. I'm not an out person. So when you say receive, it depends on, are you talking about men or are you talking about just in general? Because
let's do both. Let's start with just in general before we get to men.
Just in general, only if they see my last name do they ask. So I don't know what and it's because I've been here my whole life, so I know that typically, stereotypically, if you're lighter of skin, sorry. Stereotypically, if you're lighter of skin, are you mixed with something? And that's just no shade. That's just the ignorance behind it. And then I'll answer questions because I'm not rude, but I'll get asked, but just because of being lighter of skin, that's that's my experience. Men do not care. They don't care what you have going on. They see, and this is my thing. I'm not obviously naturally blonde, but I went blonde maybe like back in June.
Right.
And if I'd have known that it was going to cause so much commotion, I would have probably just not gone blonde. And I'm saying that because as an athlete and as being a tomboy, and this is just, I'm a very transparent person, but as an athlete and a tomboy, I was never like the pretty girl. You know what I mean? So for me, like, I'm awkward and uncomfortable with attention as it is. Like I'm always gracious in my decline. It's a no, not because of you. It's just that's who I am as a person. But I'm not an attention seeker. So for me, the extra attention is like, I'm just trying to get hair gel at the store. Like, I had a guy just, oh my God, you're so beautiful. He was probably like 16. Do you have a man? Do you know how old I am? Because I'm just like, I'll go places now, and I know this just, with or without the blonde hair, we'll say this. Before the blonde hair, it's just how men receive you is just face value first. And I'm okay with that. That's not, some people get offended by that. And it's not because I'm conceited or stuck in myself. It's just men always go with face value originally. And they always think that I'm younger than I am before I open my mouth. Then when I speak, they're like, she might not be as young as I thought she was, because she sounds a little bit more articulate and a little bit more, they'll stand up a little bit straighter and they'll get their bearings together, because, I don't sound like I was born and raised here. And people, are you sure you were raised in Duval? Like, just, so. But back on the subject, the men receive and it's just attraction. I'm completely comfortable with that. I'm completely comfortable with having that initial conversation before I get to the part where I say, no, I'm not interested. And I'm never rude about that. But the blonde hair it's like, oh my God, she's got blonde hair, whoever that is. It's just like a target now. So, I'm not the kind of person that goes out in public with bonnets, but I'm highly contemplating it now, because it's like, dang, I didn't think the blonde, everybody's going like, lighter hair or blonde now. So I didn't think it was a big deal. So now, I'm just like, okay, that's cool. I received that, but I'm also still having to decline way more than I did when I had dark hair. So yeah.
Are you in a relationship now?
Yes.
Like married, dating?
Dating. Ooh, what do you want to call it?
Well, I'm saying, I guess just are you married? I guess you can.
No.
Okay. So you can leave it at that. You don't have to deeper
and we'll
than that.
just say we're working things out. So I'm leaving the door open for him to do those things. So I'm locked down in a sense, because I know I'm not going to entertain somebody else while that's going on. Like, we've had our ups and downs throughout our relationship. So I've made clear where I stand on me as a person. There are some things that I'm just absolutely not going to tolerate. And it has nothing to do with anything except being aware that when things make me uncomfortable, it's okay for me to say that. Years ago, the old me would have been like, I'm uncomfortable, but I don't want to say anything because I don't want to lose that person. Well, they weren't really worth keeping to begin with, if you're having to compromise your feelings about this relationship, or downplay your sentiments, or downplay your reactions to things. So me, it's just common courtesy stuff. It's not, anything out the way. I don't need 8, what is it? What do they say? 9 miles, 40 miles in a mule. What do they say? What's that saying that everybody always says?
40 acres in a mule.
40 acres in a mule. And I always crack up, because I'm like, y'all are so old. Like, just, it's one of those things where I cry laughing. But for me, relationship wise, I've always been the person that values, inner character and integrity, who you are as a person. So initial attraction is always fine. That's always great. But intellectually stimulating conversations get me, or matters of the heart get me, character gets me, integrity gets me. Like, small things like, how you speak to elderlies. Do you hold the door for strangers? Like, your temperament, like, how are you when you don't have money? How are you when you do have money? Like, those things don't, like, people like to say, well, the money changed him. No, the money exposes who you really are. With or without it, it exposes your character and your intent. So for me, these 4 years of us being together, it was just an eye opener to see things that kind of revealed who he was down the line. And no shade, because we all have our, quirks, or our, I don't say flaws or shortcomings or whatever. But for me, it was just like, how? Like, how are we at this juncture? And I feel like I'm relearning a stranger all over again. So we'll get into that at another time.
Right.
Because it's so long, it's just like I could go on and on. And that just is like the cherry on the cake for all of my life experiences with relationships. I'm cool with that. I'm comfortable with having those conversations. But for now, because I feel like I've voiced, for the last time, how I feel about things, or what I expect, or my anticipation, and I'm not asking for much. That's why, like, I can confidently say, I know it's not me, because this stuff that I'm asking for is free. It doesn't cost you anything. So me having to repeat these things, it's not going to happen. Like, for me, it's like, it doesn't take 4, 5, 6, 9, whatever years for you to understand common courtesy, common decency, loyalty, commitment, all those things. And honestly, I'm not that person that puts pressure in that regard. So for me, it's like, with or without kids, like, with or without, father of kids being involved, I'm not that person that says, well, if you're not with me, you can't see your kids. Or if you're not with me, you can't have this. Or if you're not doing this, you can't do that. It's not a, you choose where you want to be, honey. Like, and whether you're going to be here or not, somebody else is gonna get it and be like, listen, she ain't asking for much. And the much she asking for is free. So, you know, I got to hop on that, like literally.
Sorry, do you have kids with him?
Yes, we have a son together. So my youngest right now, it's his son. And I'll say this very loosely, trying to, and this goes for all fathers or whatever title you call yourself, father, baby daddy, part-time daddy, whatever it is. It is not, it is very complicated trying to show somebody how to be a good father when they've only been treated like a baby daddy. It is very complicated. It's so easy to allow access to your child when you understand that that's, you know, that's it. That's okay. And I've seen people do that. Like, you know, hey, being able to co-parent, I'm on both sides of the fence. You should not have your personal feelings invested, but you should have your personal feelings invested if it's about whatever's, you know, promotes the well-being and fosters the relationship between both parents and the kids. I'm all for that. But I will say, on the other end as a woman, don't do things to aggravate that. You can't expect her to be in a place where, oh, I just want you to not have feelings about everything that's going on. Well, then stop confusing her. I don't want you to have feelings about what we're doing. Well, then stop doing what you're doing, or stop making it seem like there's more there than what it is. I'm crystal clear about, if you don't want to be here, you don't have to be here. If you want to co-parent, we can co-parent. Like, I go off of you so that there's no confusion. If you say, I don't want to be in a relationship, we ain't got to be in a relationship. If it's a situationship, then it's a situationship. If it's other girls, then it's other girls. Out the gate, I'm that person. If you are talking to other girls, just say that. Like, there's a lot of girls who are not going to have a problem with that. Like, if your intentions are, I just want to date, or I just want to sleep around, or I just want to, just make that clear. I will save you guys the headache of saying that. Some women absolutely appreciate the transparency. We're not telling you to tell us all your dirty secrets. It's just there are women out there who do not trip about you being transparent. Then that gives her the choice to choose. Am I going to invest in just you, or am I going to talk to other people? That is okay. That is what dating is about. I've learned that over the years. So I don't want to be that person. There's no pressure on my end. We're adults now. There's no pressure.
So I guess, so let me ask you this. Prior to the situation that you have now, and what, have you defined that, was dating, I guess, did it have any difficulties in reference to dating someone who wasn't the father of, I guess, one of your kids? Like did they ever find out like that you had kids and that was a situation? Or
for me, like, and I'll say this, I see a lot of posts on Facebook where guys will say, well, you know, I could never talk to somebody who has multiple baby dads or doesn't. And I'll say this very loosely, that is your preference. I have no problem with somebody's preference. If I tell somebody, hey, I have 3 kids, and they're like, I'm sorry, that's not what I want. Okay, cool. That it can't bother me as a person, because that's your preference. That's like somebody preferring tall girls. I'm 5'3", honey. That's all you finna get is these 63 inches. And people get so mad about preferences, but honey, that's their preference. If you're not that guy's preference, what are you missing out on? Like, you know, you have to be confident about yourself. So for me, I'll say, I've never had any problems dating with my kids being involved, but also it has nothing to do with, you know, my children. It has everything to do with my mentality in regards to my children. So nobody's coming into a situation with me like, well, dang, she got kids, now I got to take care of them. No, homeboy, I've taken care of my kids since day one. I don't impose that on you. Even if we're dating and we're, let's say, established in a relationship, there's things that I'm not comfortable with imposing upon anybody, because at any juncture you can say, I don't want to be in a relationship. And then those responsibilities or obligations that you thought you had, you know, to my kids, they're done and gone, because that's not, you know, what I anticipated. But I've never had problems dating because of the way I carry myself in that regard. My children are mine. Like, if you choose to do things that, you know, foster a relationship between you and the kids, I'm all for that. If you choose to be standoffish because you don't want to get too close, it's touch and go. We just work through those things. And I'm okay with either or. But one thing as a mother that, I have to constantly live above, being a single mother when I'm single, is that the stereotype that, it's different when they see single dad. They see dad with a stroller and a kid. It's like, oh my God, he's the best dad in the world.
Right.
Do you
Sympathy,
see what he's doing
right.
for his kids? Like,
right.
he's got his baby out here in these Nikes and this stroller. But us, if you see me walking down the sidewalk, let's just say I'm exercising, and it's my son in a stroller. Oh, she ain't got no man. She out here in the heat.
Here go this bitch.
This broke down bitch. She ain't got no man. She walking on the sidewalk. I could be doing cardio. And I remember one time I was probably like, maybe, how old was I? Like 26, 27. And I was probably pregnant with my second and had my first, who was probably 1 at the time. I was at a library, and this was in Ohio. And I look a lot younger than I am. So people were probably like at the library, like, look at this little high schooler with these babies with no dad around. Girl, I'm just here because they have a free reading session for my child. Like, they don't know that at that time I had a bachelor's degree, my own place.
Right.
So women have to constantly fight that stigma. Like I've actually had people whose mothers find out, like, if they don't have any kids and I have kids, well, you want to be careful and cautious about XYZ. I'm sorry, ain't your mama single and didn't she have 2 baby daddies? Like, just
right.
This me. So one thing that I honestly have to consider and just think about is I have to carry my weight in a such that when you talk to me for the first time, that if you're being stereotypical, that my words coming out of my mouth completely debunk anything that you thought you were going to be able to say about me as a person. And unfortunately, it's worse when you're Black, you're a woman, and you're a single mom. Those are 3 just stereotypically charged, negative stigmas that we have. And and I'm not saying that if I walk out somewhere that, oh my God, they see single mom. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is I have to constantly, especially like, right now when we're going through, just the Black Lives Movement and all these protests right now. The problem is when you see people debating back and forth, when you see my default picture, it's like, oh, that's cute. But when you hear me open my mouth on a topic that involves injustice, inequality, and, racism, they're like,
right.
Just, they're like, you probably don't understand this, that, and the third. I'm sorry, sir. I'm balls deep in my master's degree with 3 classes left with a 3.93 GPA. Come again? And you have to do that. Like, being ignorant sometimes is not showing up ready to fight. It's like, dang, well, I actually have the same education you got with probably a higher GPA while having 3 kids, while running my own business. What were you saying? You have to check people like that sometimes. Sometimes it's not about like, smart comments going back and forth. And I'll do both. Like, you ultimately pick which Janita you get. You can get ratchet clapbacks all day. Or we can have highly charged, educated conversations about, inequality and why the what is it? I just did a paper on this. Why the rate of violent offenses are significantly higher for Black people than white people. I had to do a full paper on victimization for Black people as it correlates to what's going on right now. And I got a perfect score on that paper because we are in literally, like, I don't want to say it, cliche like this, but dying times for us. Like, history will always repeat itself in that regard. But sometimes, instead of getting with people like physically, you have to show them that honey, I'm a whole different breed out here. It's not just about my words. It's about my education combated with Black, female, Hispanic, and all these other things that I want you to know about me. Okay, so I have a question for you, but before I say that question, I do want to let you know I changed your name, but they didn't have the option to put the. They won't. It's not even on my birth certificate, so. Right. So I just, for anybody who sees that name change, that's not technically not how you spell it because we don't have just the accent thing on top of the end. In the beginning, right. I repeat. Oh, right, and that's very important. So. Being Black, being a woman, and having kids. Ooh. Okay. So question. Yes. Before you had kids, because you were always a Black woman. Yes.
Did you have the same mentality to in reference to, for lack of a better term, building your life resume so that when you do stand in front of idiots, you can say, don't talk to me like that because this is who I am? Like, did you have that from simply Black women, or did kids kick that into a...
Not at all. And I'll say this because I wasn't raised like that. Like, honestly, looking back, I was raised that everything that I was, I don't say everything I was doing. I won't say that. I was raised to be quiet, but not because I was saying anything, because I was mimicking that. That was my, my mom. Love her to pieces. Hi, Deb. If you see this, sorry, we're getting into this. I know you have a Facebook, so Deb, if you see this, you can choose to cut this off right here, because I'm transparent. So don't leave no comments. Don't come for me. I love you. I'll see you next week, okay? I'll bring the kids. So let me say this, and it's no shade to her, because we've had conversations like this. And I'm not going to say anything that's going to be emotionally charged. I'm just going to say, because I like the question and it's touchy, if I cry, it's not because I'm hurt. It's because it's an interesting question. So no, I was not raised like that. I was raised or mimicked the behavior of being quiet. I was raised in a predominantly white school, went to a predominantly white church, went to predominantly white functions. So for me, understanding that, mimicking the behavior of what I saw was because I was around white people. Probably why I sound like this, because this is how they talk. Right. And so for the most part, just knowing that, I was not taught to have, and I'm not saying we couldn't, I'm just saying I wasn't taught to have an opinion outside of what I was comfortable with, going with things because that's what worked. Right. Not arguing and not being temperamental what worked. My mom is also not a stereotypical Black woman. So I didn't understand. Like, if you asked me 10 years ago or before kids, no, I don't know what angry Black woman was. I don't know what these adjectives that stereotype us, because now I'm saying us. I don't know what those are because I wasn't raised like that. So it wasn't anything except experience that got me to understand that no, there's definitely a time to be quiet, but there's definitely a time to speak up. And as Black women, those stigmas, unfortunately, sometimes don't come from white people. They come from ours. So now is the time to stand up, but also is the time to understand, like, my experiences before kids did not teach me or teach me that strength or give me that backbone to be this woman. It was heartbreak. It was failed relationships. It was not finishing my degree when I was supposed to. It was having children out of wedlock. It was all of those things that people consider negative that make me this person. And that might be a lot of people, that doesn't have to be everybody's story. So what I'm saying is, no, there are plenty of Black women out there who got married out of high school, had a child with the man of their dreams, married the man of their dreams, and that's their story. But for me, I'm understanding that that can't be my story if I'm trying to reach the masses of people. It was not easy for me, not because of the devil or not because of poverty or circumstances. It was those things because of my choices. So a lot of people can honestly say, well, the devil did this or that. No, these were the choices that I made. I chose, love before a career, or a man before my future goals, because I watched my parents be in this marriage. So I thought that was for me too. I watched my parents, stay together through all these things. So that's what I thought was destined for me. So, and even though I didn't have my first baby until I was 26, even still, I would tell people, hey, when you say you want kids, because at that time it wasn't planned, but when you say you want kids, give yourself 5 more years. Don't say that because of the idea or the perception of what having a baby is like. Understand the reality is that's ball and chain, honey. That's I love my kids tremendously, but it's like, dang, y'all can't go nowhere. Like, they're mine, so they can't go anywhere, which is
forever.
cute. Right, forever.
Right.
Like, dang, this is it. But
Right.
I will say, so no, it wasn't the children that, the kids did not make me understand that right now, even 4 years ago, 2 years ago, a few months ago, the children were not what made me understand that I absolutely have to, to be this person. It was heartbreak. It was literally getting my feelings like stomped on. It was, seeing these men, not all, just, I'm not speaking for everybody, but just seeing men totally, betray you and do you wrong, and understanding that the dynamic that my parents had may not happen for me right away, or whatever the case may be. I'm not looking for that, but just,
Right.
Those things are what made me understand that I have to use being a Black woman, being a single mother, being, pursuing further education or opening my own business. Those are things that I have to use to be able to present myself in a room where people don't think that I'm good enough for face value. That's really, and a lot of Black women won't understand that. They already think you're not good enough just because of the color of your skin. Don't give them anything else to go off of. Now, you might see me go back and forth and kiki giggling, on Facebook and stuff, but when it's time to straighten up, it's trying to straighten up. What I'm not going to do is pretend to not be the person that needs to respond because I'm upset, because I'm not going to separate that person that needs to respond because I'm upset with an education, with children, with my experiences to be able to back up what I'm saying. You don't have to separate the two. There's a time and a place for you to be ratchet when you need to talk to your people on the level that they're on. And it's a time and place to be this other woman when it's time to talk to these people who are not going to hear you because they think that you're ratchet like these other people. And that's so important, that don't let anybody try to tell you that, like, you have to be, think, or talk this way. Absolutely adapt to your surroundings when it comes to school. You can't be, ignorant and ratchet and ghetto when you're trying to get your education, when you're trying to go to an interview, when you're trying to convince people that, hey, not only do I deserve this position, but I'm, treated half as good when I'm twice as good as you are. And my background says that.
And sorry for cutting y'all, but what's so sad about that is that only applies to us, like to Black people, like, because you can be ignorant and stuff like that if you are white, because I don't necessarily go to school with some now, but I've been in the military with some, I've been in school with some, I've been in important places with, in people who were looked at as high, whatever, and got all these accolades, whatever, and they were flat out idiots. Even in the presence of when they were supposed to be acting right. You know what I'm saying? So like that, like you said, it's you already get the stigma just because of the color of the skin.
Just face value.
Which makes us then have to, because realistically, like if the shoe was on the other foot, let's just say I'm creating a world. Let's say we came from Africa, went to Europe, put them on slave ships and brought them to America.
Right.
Like, then we could be ratchet, and that would be the standard, and they would have to adjust. But because we've already been, given the shorter end of the stick, and then a minority, at that, by a large amount. Because if you think about it, there's no state in America that the entire state is all Black. Maybe some all Black cities, but there are states, multiple states, that are completely white.
Right.
Like 100% white. You know what I'm saying? So that by itself is already going to be a thing. But going back to the, not so much relationship, but just dealing with men real quick. I assume you're not against interracial relationship, being that your parents.
No.
But do you have a thing when it comes down to like white men in particular, or let me just say the white race in particular? And what I mean by that is, as in reference to you dating a white person, and or in reference to your views on, let's just say, like the Black male celebrity who then dates, marries a white woman type situation. So what's your views on those two things?
Honestly, I think, and this is just people's opinions as it may be, it's only infuriating to Black women when it's a situation where it's a response to us. So if you're dating a white woman because that's your preference, that's not an issue. If you're dating a white woman because you're mad at black women, that's an issue because your mother's black. Let's just stop there. Your mom's black. Okay. Keep that same energy when you go home to your black mama for Thanksgiving and your white girlfriend's bringing, 3-bean casserole. Just right. I'm just saying, but no, for me, like, I'm not going to speak on their marriages or whatever, to each his own. I'll say that. But what I don't agree with is the fact, see, these black men, when they get married, when they're celebrities, it's a white woman. Well, I mean, if you took the easy way out, that's on you. Because the only thing that like a real black woman is going to do is support anything that her significant other, husband, is going to do. And I say, as I'll be general before I get specific, like black women, I'll just say, and I'm not speaking for everybody because I want to be clear that this has nothing to do with everybody else's experiences and nor mine. This is just, just kind of like a sight view. Black women historically by design are meant to endure. If you felt like you had to go to somebody else, it's because whatever she was asking for wasn't too much. It was, you just weren't the right man. Let's just call a spade a spade.
Right.
We are designed to be a strong force. Therefore, if we're too strong in that regard, it is in your best interest to find somebody who's weak. Just saying. Now, me personally, as a black woman, I will say this. Like, I understand the difference between combative, nagging, and difficult versus, hey, you're on the wrong track, or hey, this doesn't look good, or hey, I can't support this decision because it doesn't benefit the family. That is completely different than being stereotypically difficult, argumentative, and combative. It's like, if you've never had a strong black woman, and I'm not talking about somebody who smacks you around and does all this stuff. I'm talking about somebody who understands that as a man, you could be doing better. Sure. As a man, you should start that business, or you should pursue that doctorate, or you should further your education, or you should go to that business meeting, or you should go to anything that's going to better you as a person, not because she wants to benefit off of it, but because she sees the potential in you that you don't see yet. Any man is going to feel uncomfortable if he hasn't had a woman to experience that with yet. So if you've had a lot of women who just see your car and see that you look good and see that you fine and she looks good on your arm, that's understandable. But when you see somebody that has all those things and she says, honey, that's not good enough for me because, these tangibles are cute, but that's not good enough. That is a strong woman. That's a woman who didn't ask you to come in here with 6 figures and a high credit score and 401k. She asked you to just be who you said that you were. That's it. And it's so hard to weed that out because as I'm seeing now, this generation of women is just entitled. Yes, we want men to bring something to the table too, but y'all are just looking for men who are the table.
Right.
You're just trying to eat, and that's not acceptable. If he brings something to the table, can you set the table? Like, can you bring something else to the table? Or if he is the table, are you the chairs? Are you the legs?
Right.
And they're getting, entitlement confused with the lack of support, I guess you can say. Like, you're entitled, you feel like you're entitled to this, but you're not his wife. Like, you're entitled to this, but you haven't built this with him. I put in my years of being a girlfriend, but what did you build with him? Like, some people don't get that. Like, now that we're older, it's like, dang, like when you say I want to build with somebody, it's not just about, those laughs and those good conversations and we vibe well and our chemistry is good. No, it's like, can we put our heads together and make a business together? Can we do a nonprofit organization? And I'm not saying it's just limited to those things. Like, success for this husband and wife might be, she's a teacher and I'm a principal, and that works for them, and that's their 9 to 5. Whereas this other couple might say, well, I've always wanted to run a business, and she says, okay, well, I'll support that, or I'll financially do X, Y, Z. It doesn't matter. Like, what is successful to y'all as a couple is y'all as a couple. That's y'all's business. It doesn't matter what it looks like. It's just, I'm saying that you as a woman, like, and us being older, if you're dating to date, that's fine. If you're sleeping around, that's okay. But if you're looking to marry somebody, like, can you compliment him? Can you supplement him? Can you support him? It's not just about what the man can bring to the table. Like, it's, you know, we do want a man that says, I'm making plans for you, or I'm making a future for you and your kids, or they're attached to you, so they're also mine. That's okay. But at the same time, it's like, men have to also understand there are women out here just looking for meal tickets. Call a spade a spade. There are women out here who don't care what you look like, and they're gonna bust it wide open because they feel like you got to. I'm just saying. And that's the reality. So when you run into a woman like me who says, nah, like, you know, gifts is not my love language, or an apology without change behavior, that's not acceptable. It's like, it's just some things I'm not going for. And that's just, as a person now that I understand that, you know, watching and mirroring my parents, it's just some things that I'm not going to accept anymore. Not as a woman, not as a mother, not as a Black woman, just, you know, that's it. So no, when we're going back to the original topic, when it comes to a preference, that doesn't bother me because I'm someone's preference. That's all that should matter. Whatever homeboy, homegirl got doing over here, that's cute. More power to y'all. But if I'm not his preference because he doesn't want kids, that's fine. I'll be somebody else's preference. That's a security thing. That doesn't make me feel less secure about myself as a person. I'm just not his preference. Cool.
But so let me ask you this. Would you, and no bad juju to your current relationship, but if just say if that didn't work out, but you just say you found somebody else who didn't have kids, he cool with your kids, everything good, but he wants more kids. Like, is that an option for you, or are you done?
I'm not done. I you know, I thought once I got my son that it would be a situation where it's like, oh, I got the boy finally, because I have 2 girls and a boy, and I was like, yes, I got the boy. But literally it was just like, dang, he's 1 now, and it's like, I can't believe he's growing up this fast. I'm so heartbroken. I'm just like, and the thought of another one makes me very excited. So I'm not opposed to having more kids. Like at first I was like, nah, I don't want more kids because my mom got 6 and I'm getting close. She's always been like, why don't you have kids? Why don't you have more? Like, girl, I hope you know that when I get 4, 5, 6, whatever, they're coming right to you. Right over there. Grandma, right. So no, for me, I'm absolutely like not opposed to having more or another kid. And it's just because, like, with my son, it just with the girls, it was like, I'm cool, you know. I wasn't thinking about another one when we had him. I was like, oh, I'm pregnant. Oh shit! Like, just whoa, like what? And so we're cool now. But no, if things didn't work out, honestly, if things didn't work out, or if they don't work out between us, I'm probably I'll be so honest right now. It's gonna take God to snatch somebody by the collar and be like, hey girl, this him, for me to be like, I'm at that point now. And it's not because of anything except, you know, my choices have led me here. I don't regret any of my choices, but as I'm learning from just my mistakes, and the children are not any of those mistakes, but as I'm learning from my mistakes, it's like, I want to do things a lot better, because the mistakes should make you better. So for me as a woman, it's not about, you know, finding another man or finding my husband or my soulmates out there somewhere. I am not upset, bitter in the least. It's like, at all. No, I've learned that, okay, so the next thing for me is I want my business to flourish. I want to pursue, you know, other things. And at the right time, at the right moment, whether it's, you know, my son's dad or whomever the hell else God has in store, that's fine. I've learned that, listen, like, I'm not saying it in a bad way, but just my experience is that everybody's not going to love the way you do. And I love in such a way that there's no replacement for me. So it's never a loss when you lose me, honey. Like, I'm at that place where I understand that. And because I understand that now, I'm at a point where I'm not even really accessible in that regard, because it's certain things that are not good enough for me anymore. Like, part-time being interested in me is not good enough anymore. I might hear from you today, might not hear from you next week, not good enough. Like, just interested and sleeping around, not good enough. And I'm not saying that's not a good or bad thing. I'm just saying that's cool if that's what type of time you're on. No shade.
Right. Just for you.
It's just not good enough for me right now. Yeah.
Right. Gotcha. Okay. Well, final question. When it comes to the word bitch, all right? And of course, the title does not ever, for anybody who gets confused, I'm not asking if I'm allowed to call our guest a bitch. It's not, do you mind if I call you a bitch? It's, do you mind being called bitch? And if so, or if not, what are the stipulations? Like, so women are cool, men are not, gay man, yes, no, whatever. Like, what is your whole ramifications about the word bitch?
Okay, so we're going to go back to when I was in college. And I've grown up in a household where nobody cusses. My dad might have said damn a few times, and it was just like, because we just don't cuss in our household. So when I got to middle school, everybody was cussing. I was like, okay, cool. When I got to high school, everybody was cussing. All right, cool. I know to cuss at high school. I know not to cuss at home. All right, cool. I got to college, and hopefully one of my friends will watch this. I'm not gonna say her name, but I'm gonna tell her this later. She called me bitch, and I went, just because she was like, oh, some, and yeah, bitch, some. And me, I'd always been taught that was a bad word to call any woman. Right. Queen Latifah taught us that. Who are you calling a bitch? UNITY. So me, I'm right. So me, I'm like, well, Queen Latifah said y'all can't call me that. Like, but I realized then in conversation that she was saying that because that's not a term of endearment, but just like that means girl. So
almost like a black person saying nigga to another black person.
It took me months of somebody calling me bitch. Like, I just would cringe, like I just to where I got comfortable. Like, okay, so that's their thing. I didn't call somebody else that for a while, but they were from Maryland, and bitch said, bitch, they're from DC, Maryland area. And so I just took it for what it was. Now that I'm, that I know, that was just another term for the word friend or girl. Like, hey, girl, let me tell you, bitch. Oh, bitch, I got teased. Like, oh, bitch, this. Right. So if you're saying it like that now, because I, received it so horribly to begin with, I'm not offended. It's like, because now I say, oh, girl, bitch, let me tell you what such and such did the other day. Right. Now, coming from a man is just an absolute no. Only because, like, in the girl world, it's just one of those things where it's gay, like, is
this gay or straight? Gay or straight man?
I still have I have a gay neighbor who always says when he sees, where's the baby, bitch? And I'm just like, right, because he loves my son to pieces, and he's always like, where's the baby, bitch? When we talk to each other, but here's the flip side to that. Right. He doesn't like when I call him girl, because I'm like, girl, let me tell you, but I don't mean it like, because sometimes I used to do that to my son's dad. We're like, girl, let me tell you these teeth. It's not because I think you're a girl. It's just
It's naturally coming out.
We say girl all the time, like, girl, let me tell you, instead of saying bitch, girl. So he would get offended if I say girl, because he's not, even though he's gay, he's not. He doesn't relate to like drag and queen, whatever. Okay, so cool. So I don't really, and I have to tell everybody, no, I say it in conversation. Whereas again, on the flip side, my cousin is transgender. In any way, shape, form, or fashion, she does not like to be referred to as a girl for the obvious reasons.
she was a girl who transitioned to a man?
Yes, she's transitioning. Gotcha. So girl, so just to go back to the first part, it depends on the dynamic of the relationship and the actual person, because inside your circle that might be cool, but as you can see, gay guys don't like to be called bitch. Gay girls don't like to be called bitch by gay guys either. I'll say him, but when you see the ones that are extremely feminine, it's okay, because their dialect and their verbiage is female, so they associate you as one and the same. But with my transgender cousin, she does not like to be called girl, bitch, none of that stuff, because she doesn't want anything to do with being a woman. And that's just a psychological thing, and that's okay. Now, men in general, and I will say this, do not call me a bitch. Now, that being said, unless I'm actually being one, yes, it'll make me mad. Like if you say, you're being such a bitch right now.
Right. But even that statement, that's still not calling you one though. That's just telling you what you're being right now. That's just like if I say no, for sure. I get the turn up, but I'm saying, but to me, that's even still polite. If I say that's just like
polite.
But that's like if I say you're acting like an idiot, if I say like you're acting like an idiot, it doesn't mean I'm calling you an idiot. I'm just saying you're acting like one. You're acting like what an idiot would act like.
To piggyback off of that, just because you say with all due respect does not mean it's respect.
Well, no. First of all, most time when people say with all due respect, you already know it's going to be disrespectful. With all due respect, fuck you.
Right. Well, where was the respect when you said it? Just me. So, yeah, but I mean, for me, I know I'm not trying to be funny. I know when I'm being a complete bitch to my son's dad, and there's been times we argue. You're acting like such a B word right now. Like he might say it or he might not, because I've heard him slip a few times. But I'm like clap back queen. So when you slip, I slip.
What if he says something like that? He doesn't say you're acting like a bitch, but he says you're constantly bitching and complaining, like bitching. Like what about that?
I don't get upset about that. But my response would be something like, and this is typical of me, like if I'm bitching and complaining about anything, it's because you're doing the same thing over and over. I will not typically fuss about anything that you're not doing, but if you're doing the same thing over and over again and you're fussing at me, that's like how people say insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. That's literally what that means. Yeah. Guys sometimes don't get that. If you're saying I'm doing the same or saying the same thing, it's because you're doing the same thing. That's it.
Makes sense.
Yeah. But other than that, when I know I am being one, I'm not going to, because you called me one. I know when I'm being one. I do. Right. So I get that.
Gotcha. Well, Janita, do you have anything else that you want to throw out there, whether it's a website, your company, anything you want to promote, Instagrams, all that type of stuff?
Thank you very much. So if you're looking to get in shape in the Jacksonville area, I'm not doing, because of COVID caution, I'm not doing group sessions. If you want to train virtually, or my gym is very, very small. So the gym we go to is not a lot of contact. They're very, very strict. It's because it's so, I will say, unpopular. Not a lot of people go there. On Facebook, I do have my business pages, J Lit Fitness, like J, like my name, Lit, because we get lit, Fitness, because we get in shape. And that's on Facebook and Instagram. The messages go to admin. So if you message, typically it gets like an automated response. My phone number is also on Instagram and Facebook, I believe. So J Lit Fitness. Nothing else. So no,
what's your Instagram?
The same. So J Lit Fitness.
Oh, it's the same. It's the same. Okay.
Yep, same name. So yep. So if you want to get in shape, and I'm talking about, in shape for you, not, we stay in our own lane. We stay, everything that helps you become the best version of yourself physically and emotionally too, because we do talk heavily about other things. I'm here for that. So.
Oh. Well, you were definitely a
male
wonderful
or
guest.
female.
Male or female. Right?
Yes, male or female.
Male or female.
And anything in between. I don't want to discriminate. So
everybody. Everybody.
Gender neutral or whatever it is. Right.
Whatever. She got you. Got you covered. No, you were definitely a dope guest. I didn't. You gave me much more than I expected. In reference to, because a lot of times it's kind of hard to get people to talk, and not that you went too deep off or whatever like that, but just you were good in conversation. I learned a lot. I got a different perspective. You're actually the first person who I've spoken to who has the Black woman and kid factor. Because even like with Tanesha, she has a kid, but her kid is young, and it wasn't really like, it's not really a thing in reference in the same as yours. So like that was this was a good perspective. I didn't even expect it. I learned a lot. Absolutely. Yeah. And you're definitely welcome to come back anytime if you ever want to just pull up just because,
Yes, you wanna, let me know. Y'all send me times, and I can definitely do that.
Gotcha. Dope. Well, good luck to you in all your endeavors. I'm glad to officially meet you. I know we've been following each other definitely on Facebook. I don't think by Instagram, but I don't be knowing who people are. I just follow people and go with it. If we follow each other, I go with it.
Same, honey.
I just go with it. So, but yeah, reach out anytime. I appreciate you again. For anybody who's watching this, wants to follow me, willy-nilly if you're nasty's on Instagram. Got No Life, got No Life Boys Productions, and RudyComedy.com. You can find all my content on any of those 3 places. So once again, thank you, Miss Janita Ocaña.
Got it right.
Ocaña.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. All right. I'm gonna stop.